Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. And today we've got a really interesting one. Why is it that the best ideas don't always win?
All right, to get started, let's look at a mystery that you probably have right at your fingertips. So, have a look at this. On the left, that's the good old QWERTY keyboard. You know it, use it every single day. But on the right, that's the Dvorak layout. And get this, for decades, study after study has shown it's faster, it's more comfortable, and it puts way less strain on your fingers. I mean, by pretty much every objective measure, it's just a better design.
So that brings up a pretty big question, right? Why are you, and me, and pretty much everyone else still using the slower one? How did the less efficient design end up winning?
And you know what? This isn't some one-time fluke. History is absolutely full of this stuff. You had VHS speeding out the technically superior Betamax, remember that? Or even Blu-ray versus HD DVD. And way back in the early days of personal computers, MS-DOS somehow won out over much more user-friendly systems from Apple.
Yeah, this one probably feels a bit more recent. It was a full-on battle for our living rooms. And yeah, Blu-ray did end up winning, but it still makes you wonder.
Was it actually the better technology, or was there something else entirely going on behind the scenes? So, if it's not just about being the best, what's the real secret? What actually determines which new ideas make it big and which ones just, disappear?
Well, the answer to this whole mystery, it turns out, lies in this really powerful theory from sociology. It's called the diffusion of innovation. Think of it like the secret code that explains how new ideas spread, or, more importantly, why they sometimes don't.
Okay, so this is the classic definition from the guy who pretty much pioneered this whole field, Everett. Now I know, it sounds a little academic, right? But check out the keywords here. Communicated, channels, time, and social system. You see, it's about way more than just the invention itself. And really, this boils it all down to the most important point. It's not about what gets invented, it's about what people actually adopt. I mean, you can invent the most brilliant thing in the world, but if no one uses it, it just doesn't matter. Success isn't about invention, it's all about adoption.
So how does this whole adoption thing work? Well, Rogers' theory breaks it all down into 4 key ingredients. And for us, you can think of these as the 4 big clues we need to crack this case.
Okay, so here are the 4 elements. First, you've got the innovation itself. That's the new idea. Second, the communication channels, how word gets out. Third is time, how long it takes to catch on. And fourth, and this one is absolutely crucial for our keyboard mystery, is the social system.
Right, so that first ingredient, the innovation, that's pretty straightforward. It's just the new thing, right? Could be a keyboard, a video format, a new app, whatever. But the real key to solving this whole puzzle, that's in the last piece.
This social system, this is the big one. This is the network of people, the habits we already have, the way the market is set up. It's the entire world that a new idea has to try and survive in. Okay, so let's put this all together. When you really zero in on how communication works inside that social system, that's when the answer starts to become crystal clear. And this is so interesting because it shows how we're actually persuaded. Think about it. Mass media, like ads and news, is great for just making you aware that something new exists. But word of mouth, your friend telling you about something, that's what's really effective at changing your mind and actually convincing you to try it.
And this is where it all clicks. Now we can take these clues, especially this huge idea of the social system, and finally solve the QWERTY mystery.
You see, by the time the better Dvorak keyboard came along, the social system was already completely locked in. There was this huge group of typists already trained on QWERTY. That created what we call network effects. All the typing schools, all the instruction manuals, all the businesses, everything was built around the QWERTY standard. So the switching costs, the time, the money, the pure hassle of retraining everyone and changing everything, it was just way too high. QWERTY didn't win because it was better. It won because the system was already built around it.
All right, so this brings us to the final verdict. The big takeaway from all of this, the core idea that explains so much, not just about keyboards, but about technology and new ideas in general.
And here it is. An innovation's success is almost never just about how good it is technically. Being better is just one small piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. It's an important piece for sure, but it is rarely the thing that decides who wins and who loses.
Because at the end of the day, success is really a social thing. It's about how effectively an idea spreads through that network of people. It's about communication and timing and how well it fits into the world that already exists.
It's not just about the idea, it's about the diffusion of that idea.
So I'll leave you with a question to think about. Take a look at the apps on your phone, the software you use for work, the social media platforms you scroll through every day, and ask yourself, is this thing winning because it's really the best one out there? Or is it winning because it just got really, really good at spreading through the system? This explainer was based on lecture materials from the Technical University of Berlin on innovation economics. Thanks for joining me.